Hello, Inderes TV. Kempower reported recently its fourth quarter report, and I'm interviewing Kempower CEO Tomi Ristimäki. Hello, Tomi, and welcome to the interview.
Thank you, Pauli. Good to be here again. Thanks.
So you had a strong finish to the challenging year. In your opinion, what are the most important aspects of your Q4 performance?
Of course, the highlight of the year, of course, what I think you will agree was the order intake increase, which was the second highest ever in Kempower history. So it's we are getting to the kind of levels in order intake that we had in year 23. But of course, recovery in a way that we promised to bring company back to profitability. So that's the second.
Yes. So your order intake improved compared to previous quarters. So could you elaborate a little bit what was behind this? And is this a sustainable turnaround, or were there any exceptional timing factors influencing the orders?
I would say linear assumption on the order intake is never right, especially in our market. And let's see, because it's Q1 is always a little bit weaker when we look at the number that people are finishing the orders by the end of the year. So I'm cautiously optimistic of the year, as was seen on the text, and looking at the third-party market study that we got done also by the end of the year, was showing really that the market is picking up. Not only that the inventory situation is getting better by the second half, but it's also showing numbers growing in electric vehicle sales and bringing, let's say, belief in the market that if the electric vehicle number is getting up, then the charge point operators are seeing their business opportunities getting up, and then we expect actually the speed to come back to the market.
Well, I wanted to talk about the EV sales figures. The January figures were published last week, and there was very high growth actually, Germany and UK, like 40-50% year on year. Of course, this is just 1 month, but there is a bigger trend with EU tightening the emission regulations. So are these monthly figures important for your customers? Is this something that they are following closely?
I think it is, because that's showing actually demand increase, and maybe you got those assumptions right that maybe the January figures had something to do with the CO2 regulation, because you are calculated by the year. So I'm only speculating when I think maybe some manufacturers delayed some shipments to actually get the numbers into the 2025, and those growth numbers for January were huge. So probably not the same throughout the year. I don't expect to get, was it UK plus 60% and France plus 55 and these kind of figures in the sales. But sales are starting to pick up, and one of the topics is definitely the CO2 regulation and how the car manufacturers are probably going to respond to that. I will expect to see some kind of decline in general EVs, electric vehicle sales prices. Is it more introductions of cheaper EVs or more affordable EVs, or is it related to more discounts in current prices? But I think that's the way how the manufacturers can affect the possible penalties they might be getting from the CO2 regulation.
Yes, so the industry is moving forward.
Yes, definitely. And having the affordable EVs, I think it's still kind of an upper class, more expensive cars we have in the selection. And there's a couple of exceptions, like 2020 having these small Volkswagen Group cars in there, which were all sold immediately. So kind of the price matters in this aspect, that when you have affordable EVs on the market, that actually moves the market the fastest when you look at the lower middle class people being able to afford electric vehicles. So definitely the other benefits will then drive the market, just the cost of use is then interesting when you get to a certain threshold. But actually, when we look at the market and the number of EVs, if you look at the base demand of the market, our installation grew by 30% in a year when the revenue decreased by 21%. So the inventory has its effect. And when things normalize on that, the base demand was also in 24 there.
So the installations are still growing, and like there was this big inventory cycle that has actually made your P&L look bit different.
I think it was actually from that point of view on a year that installation grew the most of any year we have experienced. All the manufacturers were not seeing that in the revenue numbers. So this was in general bad year for the manufacturers, but actually for the charging networks growing, it was tremendous from that point of view.
And you expect the customer inventories to gradually decline during the first half of the year?
Yeah, that's when the installation rate is as it is, we expect it to be normalizing by the summer.
Well, you guided that your year will start slowly and you will have a negative EBIT in first quarter. Is this mainly due to your currently low order backlog?
Well, the backlog, what we end up the year, you pretty much know it. And then when the delivery times are now a lot shorter than they were in previous years, I think we are talking about a lot of improvement in delivery time. So you can also sell within a quarter. So that's not always that straightforward as what it was in the past when you know everything for the half year ahead because your delivery time is so long. And now we have improved the delivery time a lot. So there is more chances nowadays to actually sell something that is delivered within a quarter. But basically the math actually when you start the quarter where it is. And it started happening actually last year that our delivery time was matching that you could actually get sales within a quarter. But in a way, we are still talking about quite expensive and complicated piece of equipment where you have certain delivery times, certain manufacturing times involved.
So the next topic I wanted to discuss are the cost structure of your company. You made some cost savings last year and also reduced headcount. So what are your thoughts about your current resources? Can you grow with this cost structure and organization, or will you soon need more recruitments?
I think we did a bigger revenue in 23 in a smaller number, but it was also, I think we were understaffed compared to the situation at that point of time. But I think the investments in people will continue as we see the sales growth. So in that way, we are looking at that and we are expecting to actually have this going up with the demand when there is a demand actually in the next year, or especially in the H2. This is a planning cycle that you need to be worrying about 26th growth as well. But the market has to first show that it actually is there. But that's actually something I'm really worried that if you are not prepared for the growth, when it happens, then you are behind.
But your organization has still grown a lot if you compare 2 years' time. How do you feel about current resources and organization you have? Do you think that you have lots of resources to grow also with these people and lots of new R&D projects going on and so on?
Yeah, I think it's we spent the year 24 doing a lot for the structure, for the company processes, everything to be more efficient in every way to actually have the professional way of working. Kempower is still a young company, so I think I named the year more like a restructuring and organizing the company, so to be prepared to have a lot of like a more mature processes and looking at how the company works efficiently. We do less the same things over and over again, so having more systematic approach. So definitely a lot of work done, and that's I think not only reducing the amount of people, we also hired key individuals and made changes in the leadership along the way last year.
You have consistently highlighted the growing role of commercial vehicles segment in your customer base. So am I correct if I interpret that for now this growth is largely driven by buses, but the truck segment will be a bigger one and it is more likely to pick up strongly in the next 5 years?
I think it was already showing interest from the trucks. That was growing last year already. And I think we have been generally quite strong in the bus segment. And we had good, let's say, countries. We won really key projects in Netherlands and Italy last year. So in those countries, it was very significant proportion of the sales. But as general, if I look at the commercial vehicle growth, that is coming from the trucks. And a number of electric trucks is bypassing the number of electric buses quite fast. And the sales numbers was already high. So it's a small percentage of trucks, but the amount of trucks is so much higher than the buses that this market plays out. And we have certain countries and certain companies who are really investing into electrifying traffic. I think it's a good example for this kind of forerunner companies that our cooperation in Norway when we are looking at with the retail logistics that has been public references and Tesla Björn videos on ASKO, which is a Norgesgruppen, part of Norgesgruppen, that how much they are electrifying on their logistics and cooperating with that. Those are interesting points on showing how the market works. And for trucks and buses, this is more the total cost of ownership game. So it is so much to do on the energy cost and the maintenance cost of the vehicle. Truck people don't yet know the maintenance cost, but this is a clear feedback from bus customers that their maintenance costs go down. So it's the total cost of ownership that plays out, and driving the trucks is more economical game than environmental.
So you say that trucks are already important driver for your business?
Yes. I don't know proportionally, but as combined, they are a significant part of our revenue and order intake, especially in the year that the public charging, the private vehicle was affected by this inventory situation. It of course grew in percentage, but we do see the high growth numbers in the vehicles when it comes to e-trucks.
All right. Lastly, I would like to ask about the market and competition. Did you already see like the higher competition impacting your gross margins in Q4? Or should we expect that this competition might maybe be even more visible in 25?
I do expect that because it was an industry-wide phenomenon that people have, let's say, cannot deliver the goods and cannot produce the goods. So I'm expecting actually a lot of the competition have high inventories of goods in their warehouses and they want to get rid of that. So I don't know if it's really the competitional situation, but people do want to melt the inventories also in their manufacturing. And it's more rumors because most of our competitors are private companies who don't report a single number. But rumors are telling that it was not an easy year from that point of view, that most likely the price pressure comes from the situation that the certain manufacturers might have a lot of inventories of parts. And you want to get rid of that. And if your main competition is price, then that's what you drive for. So heavy impact we didn't see, and material impact, I think it was more like every time you ask this, it's more about the product mix and what happens and the customer mix, market mix. Certain markets, the price is a little bit higher than the others. Certain markets, it's lower. So this is a lot to do. This few percentages differences cannot be actually extrapolated into a big picture yet. But I do see the possibility of higher price fight, and immediately it's about this oversupply of goods on the market, or the situation that there's still a lot of inventories.
Okay, let's see how it goes. Thank you, Tomi, for the interview.
Thank you.